I got session 12 for you today from my 6-deck $12,000 bankroll challenge. All right, here are the rules and bets we've been using. But before we get too far, I just want to remind you that you don't have to necessarily use high-low card counting, or that system, the high-low card counting system, in order to play along with this. In fact, on my Patreon right now, I'm kind of learning a new count that's a 2-level count. So if you're interested in that, it's going to be one of my higher levels there on Patreon. You can check it out. And I'm probably, at least my plan is to watch some of these videos back as I learn that, and because I show all the cards at the end when I go through and I count out, what's left, every card gets shown in this video, and therefore you don't have to necessarily use high-low. You can use any count. All right, so that said, we are using high-low today, and so if you're not, you can throw me on mute, but we are starting with $13,620. So let me get that here for you. We have a $10,000 chip. That's the bulk of our bankroll. And then these are in piles of 1,000, these $100 chips here. So that's 10, 11, 12, 13 with those blacks. All right, I'm going to put those kind of in the back because our bet spread pretty much uses just 5s and 25s here. All right, so that is 13,000. I need 620, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 20. So I'm gonna shove these over your way, and then I will get our cards shuffled up for us today. And we're gonna get started playing some 6-deck blackjack. Let's go. All right, just a reminder, this last chunks can go right there in the middle. Okay, dealer's probably gonna ask you to cut the cards here, so let's have you do that somewhere. We'll go right there today. And then we're gonna try to cut off right at 41 cards. That's what our numbers over here are calling for. Again, if that seems too thin for you, you can always stop earlier, but I figure I'm gonna, try to get, since I have a little bit of a smaller bankroll, err on the side of the most cut off as I've seen personally, and 2 is that if you do need to stop a little bit early by me going further into the deck, you can always end wherever you do. All right, so let's see here. I think we are maybe a little bit short. I'm going to call that 39 cards. Let's count it up and see. Let's see here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. Ooh, I was way off. 39, 40, 41, 42, 43. So since we just need 41, I'm going to keep those there. All right. I do have our cut card in there. Oops, don't want to be flashing that bottom one there. And then I'm going to throw these into our shoe. All right, and then we're going to get started playing 6-deck blackjack. So I tell you what, let me push these back a little bit. All right, I want to be able to reach those, but I don't want to have them get in the way of the cards and things. So, all right, we got our minimum bet of $10 out. I'm going to put a burn card over here in the discard tray. Hopefully you can see that. I'll try to keep that visible for you in frame. Otherwise, here come those casino type sounds. Ready to count? Ready, get set, let's count. All right, I'm actually going to stop right there because our true count dropped to a -3, and this is where I would probably get up and leave the table, as that's kind of our threshold of we don't want to play below that. Remember, our numbers in our bet spread over here at -3 or lower, we're actually going to stop. We're not going to bet any money. So only at -2 or higher where we start to bet that, increasing it once we get to a true +1. So tell you what, I'm going to shuffle these back in, and since we'd probably just be minimum betting the whole time, that's not going to make for a great video. And also, because it hits our threshold, we do want to follow those numbers and bet appropriately. So I'm going to throw these back in over here. In fact, I'll just put them maybe right in the middle. And how do they do that in casinos? They take this out and put it into the tray. Maybe you can tell I'm not a dealer or anything. And then maybe let's put this in the middle. That seems kind of right. All right. And then I'm going to take this and shuffle it up. I'll throw it back into a hyperlapse for you. And then we will try this again, hopefully get a better count. All right, once again, this last chunk is going to go there in the middle, like this. I'm just going to cut cards for us here. And then I'll count these off really quick since we already guesstimated the first time. All right, so this over here is 41 cards. Do it like this. They're brand new. They're a little slippery. All right, there we go. By the way, if you want your own cards, casinosupply.com. If you use code A1BJ, you can get 10% off cards, chips, anything there. Otherwise, we got our $10 out here again. Let me get a burn card one more time. Hopefully we can use it and count all the way through it this time. Ready to count? Let's try this again. All right, so I got my count written down here. Hopefully it's the same that you have. We're going to count this plus the burn card should be opposite of what our count is. However, there was one hand, I think I had a true 2 and I bet the minimum, or maybe a true 1 I should say, and I bet the minimum. I think there was, I had a running 2 with less than 2 decks left, and I should have played, or should have bet, I should say, a green, because that's what we bet at a true 1, and I did not do that. So I might have made one betting mistake if our count was right. So let's count that up first. This should be the opposite, like I said. Let's try it here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, 1, 0, D1, D1, 0, 1, 0, D1, 0, D1, D2, D1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, D1, D2, D1, D2, and D3. Yeah, so I think our count was right. This was D3. I had us at +3. And so that means that those cancel out to get us back to 0. So again, back to my comment there at the beginning of this video, because I show all the cards here, you have seen all the cards in here and now the ones after the cut card. And so because of that, you can use any count. You don't have to necessarily use high-low. In fact, if you are using a different one, maybe you just throw me on mute is what I would do when I go back and I learn my new count, which I'm kind of, hopefully kind of documenting. I'm kind of filming these in the future, but or in the past, I don't know, it depends when you're watching this. But when I'm kind of filming this on Patreon or kind of documenting my new count and learning it, I think I'm really gonna use my videos to kind of go back and see if I'm getting those correct or not, because I show all the cards. All right, so that said, that was our count. I think our bets were right except for that 1, so we might have lost out on a little bit of EV there, but I'm gonna get those counted up for us and see if we won or lost anything today, including that first about 2.5 decks or so that we went through that first time when the count dropped, and then we were able to get a little bit more this time. All right, let me count these up for us. I'll be right back with you. All right, one other thing before we count these all up. I think we're relatively close to even today, but notice that we are way down on our reds from where we started. And I think we might have picked up some greens from when we started. And that just makes sense because you kind of gain the edge, if you will, around that true 1. Everything below that, we're betting reds. Everything above that, we're betting greens or higher. And so we should probably lose some reds and gain some greens, which is what happened here. I just find that interesting video after video that keeps happening. And that just is sort of proof, right, over the long haul that card counting works, as the low bets lose and the high bets tend to win over the long haul. All right, let's count this up. We got 10,000, 11, 12, 13. We didn't tap into those at all today. So that's still 13,000. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 600. And then 25, 50, 55, and 57.50. So 13,657.50. Okay, so like I mentioned, pretty close to even, right? That's probably our smallest margin of win today. Although we might have had a smaller one up here, but that was only, trying to do math upside down here, that was only, what, about 37.50 win. So not a whole lot. That is about, what, this much? There you go. So that's what we won today. not a whole lot in the grand scheme of things when we're kind of betting all those other chips. However, that is why we play, and that took, I guess there was two, sort of a deck and a half or so, or a shoe and a half, I should say, what we ended up playing there, with that first one not really working out. So this video is a little bit longer, maybe closer to a half hour or so, which again, if our EV is about $80, this is about half of that. In fact, it's probably not quite an hour or a half hour of time. I would guess this is a little bit less. I don't know, I need to look at the camera. But anyway, I think that kind of makes sense that this falls right in line with our EV amount for today. That said, we are way above kind of our expected value, as we've only had, I think, 1, maybe 2 losses in here in these first 12 weeks. So if I were you, I'd come back next week for week 13 to see if we win or lose that time. Otherwise, until next time, guys, this is A1 Blackjack.